Say hello, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Okay,
Hi,
this is an impromptu little bit of content we're doing of the aftermath of what was the behemoth service. So for anyone who doesn't know Chris, this is Chris Fletcher from Tech on Toast, because we do have some people in America that do listen. So say hello, Chris.
Hello, everyone. Nice to see you, and nice to be spoken to rather than spoken at rather than I don't know. Nice to be interviewed.
Okay, so I just wanted to do a really quick one. First piece was, how was service for you?
Can I be honest? I really struggle with event days. Always have done, always will do. It's a bit like if you've ever done an opening of a restaurant, which I think you have, Adam. When I'm my operator days, I feel sick for the whole day. I don't particularly enjoy it. I love seeing everyone there and all that. It's not. I'm not being rude. It's just I find it. I take things very personally. I'm the biggest self-critic. So it's not that enjoyable. About 2 days after, I look at social media and think, oh, that was great.
Yeah,
But my job is to make sure everyone has a good time. So if they had a good time, I did my job.
they did, and I did bring about 1 billion people to 1 billion different stands for you. So
Thank you, mate.
all your traders, not traders, operators
Yes.
were there. They should be happy because we were pulling people around left, right, and centre. So yeah, and now you have So and as your team ever expands, hopefully you can offload some stuff, and so next time it's a little bit easier for you.
Yeah, I think we're looking at we've got quite an interesting. I can't really talk about it properly, which is really rubbish to say on a podcast. But we've got an interesting deal going on for service in different places coming up this year. So lots of learnings. I need that disco ball wherever I go. That disco ball made it for me.
Yes.
Like they just turned it. They had an ad in Brewdog, and they just turned on the disco ball with all the lights. And I was like, oh my god, leave that on. They're like, you want that on? I was like, yeah.
I think probably the best photo was you standing on the stage. I wasn't there at that point, but on the stage, on the bar.
Yeah, again, that was just weird, but yeah.
And also a thank you to ZenZap. So next time you're down, I will be buying you a beer at Brewdog with my voucher. So thank you very much. And that came through today.
It wasn't fixed, honestly. Yeah.
Apparently it wasn't. Apparently it wasn't.
Very cool, right? ZenZap,
so
great product.
Yeah. But no, I just give you thank you so much, and I really appreciate everything you've done. And the event was amazing. It was awesome to talk. Everyone's been continuously talking about it, so I just want to give you props for that one. But the thing that's really interesting is that we spoke. You were number one on my podcast, and a lot's changed in that year. So the reason for this little bit of content is just to touch on you've had investment, you've had expansion, you've had people.
Yeah.
Just like I guess it's the year, the wrap of the year.
I think with any company that starts to grow or do anything different, you go through. I mean, I don't know how many websites we've had now. I'm probably at 27. 28's coming soon. But the team has grown. Sarah, obviously my ops director. On the 14th of February, I'll have a new starter who's our new sales director working for us. And then obviously we've got Tim who came on this year, who's running our recruitment side of the business, which has been incredible actually. And it's really scary actually. When I first started that, we were like, oh God, no one wanted agency. I was like, no, we don't use agency. But Tim's not an agency. Tim's Tim, right? So yeah. Tim just works for a lot of our partners, helping them find great go-to-market people.
I will say it's been nice actually, because people have been looping him in, and he's been connecting other people. I know you're a connector of people, but he's also a nice connector of people.
I think, like when you're hiring people or bringing people in, it's bloody scary as a small company, even a big company, right? You're hiring a new GM, whatever it might be. It's always scary to bring someone in because they dilute the culture a little bit because they bring their own thing with them. But I think Tim came in and it gave us extra. He's like us, but he's from Manchester. It's not his fault. But he's an ex-GM, worked in the business, understands it, really gets tech, like in a really, like in the investment type of way, really understands the way that tech companies work, which is useful in his job. So we've hired him. We've had another girl called Kaz, who you haven't met yet. Kaz starts in March. Is
that on the people side, or is that
Tiny Tim? We're going to call her. So Tim in the recruitment side, and then our side we've got Saskia, Jack, and all those guys. But yeah, we started off really doing the marketplace, and it's developed, and it's actually developing again as we move. We're going into direct sales for tech people. So
I think that's a really nice to see.
That's fractional sales for these guys who need it, and
that's the challenge on the supplier end.
Yes.
Which actually, on that note, would be nice for you to do a boot camp because I went to the one the other day. Scrumptious guys did it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
cool. Yeah. I'd love for you to do that one as well, from the experience of what you've seen, how it's been sold, how that works.
It's very interesting, isn't it? And you see this as much as I do, right? Because you're dealing with all these people as well, especially on the front end with what you do with a support wizard. And I think you see, it's not a mess, but you see the way operators have to operate in most challenging times ever still. I think we say that every week, right? It's just not changing. It's just hard. And I think time is poor, money is tight, but still they need tech, right? They have to be enabled. They have to do, unfortunately, a lot of automation is going to have to come in the next 12 months if it's not already there. I mean, you're building your own automations, right? So you're also, I think all people like you are on that journey trying to help people develop stuff. And we've developed Totty, which is another part of the bit we're building. She's about to have 300 videos uploaded into her.
Oh, awesome.
So we're doing loads of different bits around it, and we've got some interesting stuff to bring up on that, but still very early days. We're just developing a tech development. Jesus, how did I get here? but
that's awesome.
It's all about saving time for them, saving money for them, and making them more efficient. And I think the tech partners, same for them. I think it's really about scrutinizing the market. You're not going to get 50 leads a day. You're not going to get 50. I mean, you might do, but they're not very good. But it's about quality relationships with quality people in the community who are really change ready, which I think is always the hardest thing to find, right?
But there's some other bits I didn't even know you did. I mean, obviously for Centegra, you did the whole stand at the show, which I had no idea, which was, I will have to say, was bloody awesome.
Yeah, it was a good one. Yeah,
that was awesome. So I had no idea you even did that.
We, as I said, we want to help our partners get to market, whether that's through people, whether it's through marketing, whether it's through sales. We help them, and we don't particularly advertise it, which is the worst thing a company could do, right? But I think it's about having a community. So we work with the community to find the right things that fit their boxes. And do we always get it right? No. Do we get it right most of the time? I think so.
I think the nice thing is that what you don't talk about is you actually help with brand, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just that.
It's about trying to find that the sweet spot that helps them operators understand what they do. It's, as you know, like me, mate, it's so hard to talk about what you do. Like, you're asking me now to talk about why I'm talking, gobbledygook. You're telling me more than I'm saying. And I think because it's really hard to talk about your own company sometimes. So that's where we assist. We help these guys, whether it's through the podcast, whether it's through branding. We help them talk about their company and reach more people, because hospitality is massive.
Yeah. I spoke to someone at the show. They were talking about outreach and which route to market and so on. And I was talking, one of your stats, which was like, I don't know, 85% of people refer, 90% of people refer tech. But now it comes to you and you can refer them, which is easier. But it's interesting to understand. So are the additional services that you do is the branding, the website design, and that sort of stuff, and then you're going to bolt that onto the direct sales side as well?
Yeah, so we work with retained partners who are, we had Tech on Toast approved, designed a while ago, and we'll send it live. This is what will happen in the next few months. So that those people will be, and they have to tick certain boxes to be in the approved category, right? And the marketplace is open to everybody, level playing field. Everyone can pay, everyone can advertise. If they don't want to, they don't have to. Simple as. But the approved partner is very different. They'll jump through 5 hoops to get in there. Once they're approved by, I think it's a pretty simple process. They have to prove some integrations and bits and bobs like that. GDPR.
Well, that's nice, because then you end up having, otherwise someone would choose someone in the marketplace thinking that it's in the marketplace. Yeah, and it doesn't. It falls short of what they want.
Exactly. And that we've created that problem ourselves. So I was saying to the guys, we're almost causing more confusion by doing that, right? About doing the legwork for these guys, curating from the marketplace 10 to 15, 20 partners who all work together, integrate nicely, GDPR compliant, know the hospitality industry. We know the founders well, so we recommend them, and have at least three live references, right? Which sounds really easy, but actually, mate, when you start getting 3 live references off a tech company, it's quite interesting. I've got one from 1974. So it's just, and I get it. Some operators don't always want to put their name to a product, right? Because things change. I understand that, but I think as a minimum to allow an operator to work with you, you should prove that you're pudding, right?
And add the videos, right?
Yeah, whatever it might be. Yeah, but just I think that's really cool.
So is there going to be a button that says boost? And then it basically will kick into like your little Tech on Toast sales team that goes direct out.
No, that's Abby. Abby's the button at the moment. So, oh God, I just gave away her name. But Abby, no one knows who she is. Well, they do. But Abby will be the boost button. She will go up and do that. She'll go that route to market. She'll go and speak to all these guys and kind of get them in the bucket.
I love that.
And then from there, we will automate it, but add and when.
Yeah.
Website 30.
And then any other exciting project? I mean, obviously the service thing is going to go mental. Any other exciting projects coming up that you can share?
I think you've got enough? We've got enough. We've got Totty, in 3 buckets, Tech on Toast, Totty and service. And I think service will be our big event vehicle where we do a lot of the big events.
I could definitely see at least 3 a year or something like that, because everyone,
That's what
really, that's one of the things you should talked about. So go on, off you go.
Yeah, Andy is a good friend of mine from we were area managers at college shows together. I don't know why he was doing it; he didn't need the money, but I did. But we worked together, and he was very funny. We used to mess around a lot. And when I was putting the recruitment business in, I didn't want to do it on my own because it was a big risk, and I wanted Tim particularly because that's who I wanted to run it. So I went to Andy because I knew he had some cash and just said, look, would you be interested in working with me? And it's actually been really nice, not just obviously having the money and being able to kind of grow without being too fearful, but having a friend as an investor. Some people would say, oh, don't do that. I actually rarely recommend it. Depends what your relationship's like, right? But he really sits on my shoulder and went, don't be a dickhead. Or he said, particularly on Tuesday, he had my back all day. Every time I looked up, he was moving a chair, moving a table. He doesn't need to do that, you know? So
no, I saw him. He was literally running around all over the place. And then when you told me who it was, I was like, what?
Yeah, and my favorite bit was when I saw him with his headphones on. He was watching a talk, and I was thinking, because he has no interest in tech whatsoever. Like, genuinely, he couldn't care less. But he actually said, actually, these things are quite good. I was like, yes, mate, that's why we do it. But yeah, he's fantastic, and he keeps me grounded.
Does he keep you grounded? Yeah. So, so like for me, I have my wife who's my co-director, who tells me no. And then like Prithvi, a sentiment search, has a CTO that says no. Yeah. So it's nice to have that all have that.
People need the same person, right? I would put you in the same bucket as the crazy people. Prithvi, I bloody love Prithvi. I think he's just. Do you know when you look at founders who build tech, run it, and sell it?
Mm.
There's not
many.
Like you. Well. You and him, right? So there's probably three. I don't know many who sit like that, and I think it's a really, I think it's a challenging place to be. But when it works, my God, 7,000 locations in 14 months.
To be fair, for him, to give him props on this, the path to entry is super easy.
Yeah,
and that's on his side on the benefit. If you can make the path to entry easy. On a platform,
that's why POS, right? And I love the POS guys. Don't get me wrong. It's so different. It's such a hard thing for the operator, even before you talk about anything. It's a big deal to change POS, right? But then you've got to sell POS in. It's real. Like that's.
But not only that, do you not find that it's got even more complicated because there's payments now?
Yeah,
so you got POS wrapped into payments.
Yeah, and it's becoming a conversation point which isn't positive sometimes when we have people inquire to us. It becomes difficult. So my advice to the POS guys all the time is like, be like the operators, right? Think like the operators. Think what you're about to put them through to sell your product and how to do that better. And I think don't just presume that your solution is going to fit and work straight away, because it's not, and it's going to take time and emotional investment from the operator side. But when you're plugging in CRM or you're plugging in guest experience or Wi-Fi, it's not easy, but it's a lot less barriers to jump through, right? And for Wi-Fi, for instance, you've got an immediate call to action. You can win straight away. You can get data straight away. Better connected straight away. Yeah. Brewdog need to buy proper Wi-Fi, FYI, if they're listening.
It worked really well, actually, to be fair. So, anyway. I will say Neri was very happy that I gave him our Wi-Fi because his kiosk wasn't loading images. So I basically gave him our admin login. So, but no, you're right. You're right, 100%. I think do you think it's a change management, isn't it? Like when a big system goes in, it's all change management.
And I think these guys, it's really weird, right? Because hospitality, people would say, oh, they're not very good at change management, but they're doing it all the time, right? GM churns, it's all change. When I used to take over in Hard Rock Cafe back in the day, if you had a new general manager come in, they used to close the restaurant for a morning, right? And the GM would have to present for the whole morning to the team before he could touch anything. You go through 12 weeks training. This is how things have changed. 12-week training off-site. You get flown into your new site, Barcelona, wherever you are, Orlando Live, wherever. You stand there, present to your 60, 70 employees who you are as a person, what you expect, what are your standards, what you know about Hard Rock already, how you understand the specs and recipes. Because you know what? Once you do that, change is already happening. So you're sitting there saying, I know my stuff. I'm coming for you guys. I'm a good guy. My standards are high. And I think change management in hospitality has shifted a little bit. It's harder to do. The workforce is more transient. But digitally, we've got opportunity to do it, right? So it's very difficult, Adam. It is buying anything new.
On that note, a friend of mine became they call them directors at Gaucho, became a general manager at Gaucho Piccadilly years ago. This isn't recent. This is like probably 9 years ago. And his first job was pot wash. And you spend 3 months, well, you did then, I think it was 3 months, going through every single job in the company. So by the time you're up there, the guy at the pot wash knows exactly who you are, what you're doing, and you have you resonate with the whole business. I guess it's time now, isn't it?
It's interesting that obviously tech is spun up quickly. They're hyper invested. They've got to do sales. It's a business, and we're not stupid. It's a business. They've got to make sales and move on. But I think the problem with hospitality in tech sometimes is that understanding that they're much more empathetic, right? The operators want them to get to know you. They want to know what you're about. They want to understand. You do it on the podcast, right? You talk to these guys. They want to understand more about, and they want to know why, what they're doing, what they're going to do, who else uses it, do they like it, what do they get out of it, what's the benefit. So all that stuff needs to be really upfront and personal when you go and meet the operators. And I think it's just sometimes it's lacking a little bit, and just a website isn't going to cut it.
No, I think the old school pods, the suits and ties, you see at the show. You see the old school pods and suits and ties, and then you see the newer generation.
I saw them about. They look like undertakers.
There's a few that sort of like will arrive, and it's the window salesman, and then you've got like the younger ones who are all in the newer, fresher, iPad based and so on. It's so interesting to see the change. So I'm hoping.
You showed me someone the other day. Was it Tebby?
Yeah.
I mean, where is it going to go to this thing? I mean, literally, imagine 5 years ahead now. I mean, SkyTab are going to disrupt massively. With their offers. It's going to be crazy.
Some of the stuff that we've seen coming is crazy. It's crazy.
I know,
it really is. But then there's integration. So these new platforms have launched and then they're done. But how are you doing on time, Chris?
I've got 3 minutes, Adam.
Okay, there we go. So we can sum up. So how many people did you have come in service?
We had 1,200 people, which my team put on TikTok. Thanks on the registered.
Yes,
I think we had 849. Well, I know. Wow. 849 checked in over the course of 9 hours.
850 because I never got my own lanyard, so I didn't check in.
I think that might have been an issue as well. We didn't get everybody, but who came in. But some fantastic names, and I think one of the big learnings was we need to tell people we do food because everybody left for lunch, and we'd sit around. I was like, okay, we probably should have told people that.
I was the wedding man, as in weddings. Me and Richard Liverman, who did the content for Zenza.
Yes,
we were doing some content, and they were literally coming past us. We were like, they came past us. We grabbed. They went. They came past us. I think the kitchen must have been somewhere near where the bowling is because it just came out from there.
Yeah. So that was the only learning, really, the big learning, that we let people leave and go for their lunch rather than giving them the free food we paid for. But anyway, super interesting. Next one you'll hear about probably soon. I imagine the next 6 weeks we'll announce what that is.
Are you doing a little survey out to everyone of like what?
Yeah. We're doing the exhibitors right now, and then we'll do all the attendees next week. So we've got a type form which feedback is a gift, Adam. I'm told
it is.
I don't love it, but apparently it's really.
Well, now you're using Typeform, you get more data. You're very welcome.
So we're getting all our data through on the feedback. Again, I'm making a joke of it, but it's super important to understand if you're doing a good job or not so you can go forward. And then we'll do the attendees to ask them what they want next, probably next week.
Amazing. So more service, bigger team,
and
a better marketplace. They're the three big ones, right?
Yeah, service, Totty, and tech on toast as usual, right? So and our job is to make things simpler for the lovely people who I used to work with.
When's the expansion of Tech on Toast to like different countries? Is that ever going to happen?
We had a very close conversation with someone in Asia, but that's shelved at the moment. It's weird. We need to get our offer because you grow, right? You change a lot, and I feel like we need to be totally comfortable in our skin for a year before we go anywhere into any of the regions.
But you're iterating the whole time anyway, so I think it's never going to happen just yet.
No, I suppose I'm the problem probably, but once I'm gone, but I think we need to keep it kind of steady for 6 months. Let's go for 6 months, and then we are doing a deal with the IFTV in America.
Awesome!
So we're doing some joint content with them this year, and we're talking to someone in New York as well, but. I don't have time to go to any of that stuff. I'd like to go to one of their shows, though. I just want to see what they do as a attendee, not as a speakery person. Just want to go see what they do, and just so I can tell.
You should come to Horror next year in Amsterdam. That was Amsterdam in the Rye. That was immense. It was pretty cool.
Well, Adams, if you keep your ear close to the ground, I might have a little gig for you in Amsterdam myself.
Oh, we have 4 clients here now. It's very exciting.
Well, service, genuinely, we're looking at Europe. So,
are you?
Yes.
Amazing.
So, and we've got a few interesting partners who are out there. One of them, who do stuff where we can build something quite cool, and then maybe we'll rope you in to.
Well, to be fair, I think networking is important, and there's not enough out there. And what you've done to build the community is actually really nice. And there's not enough, even in Europe or in Dubai. There's team marketing WhatsApp group, there's operation WhatsApp, but there isn't a community that you've built.
I think the last thing I want to, I suppose, say is that you need to reflect. You can't build. So if you're in a dental industry, right, and you build a dental community, I'd expect it to feel a certain way, right? Maybe all in white jackets. I don't know with masks. But in hospitality, you can't go and build a community or event around a community where you're in a dusty old hotel room, space. And that's no hotels, but it's not right. We need to do it in our space. And I know it's a bit weird, and it's like brutal, and it's like all over the shop. It's a bit crazy.
Well, it's good for you because there's so many different facets and spaces.
The little pockets and everything help, right? But and I'm sure it can be improved again. But I think the key thing for me is got to keep high energy and look after the people. And the big thing on the day last week was Bill's brought a load of their GMs, a load of the head office stuff, and Tom James was talking to me on the top of the stairs. We were chatting about everything, and he said, "Oh, look, that's my L&D assistant. That's my recruitment."
I saw them sitting down. They were working. Right. They were working downstairs by the other side of Grind.
All right, because you get to experience all the speakers saying stuff and do your job still and not get in trouble. Have a go on the slide if you want.
I think that's a benefit what you had, because I was upstairs talking to a client, and right behind me were a group from Open Table, which is on their laptops working. So you actually enabled people to come, because the space was big enough, to come, to sit, to work, and then dip out to those conferences they wanted to, or grab some food. It was flexible rather than, as you said, a dusty room.
Agile eventing is something that's really difficult to do, I think. And we didn't get it fully right on Tuesday, definitely. And I think how do you make sure there's more people in the room, more people who are relevant to our suppliers? So that's an ongoing challenge, because those guys have they do what comes first, which is work, before they come and hang out with us for the day. So it's about making sure that we deliver for them. But certainly, I'm obsessed with getting that bit right. That's the bit I really want. I really want operators to be out the office feeling a fun show, enjoying it, going back to work, energized, that kind of thing. So, and that's our job. So next year or a few months time.
It's coming down out. Amazing. Thank you, Chris. You can wave to everyone goodbye. Thank you. So 3 questions for the next guest. This is going to be interesting. Here's a hospitality operator. So
an operator, right? Okay. How do they deal with change management in anything? How do they approach it? If they could be any dish on their menu, what would they be?
Oh, that's good.
As in their character, I'd probably be an oily fish. And finally, would they buy captive Wi-Fi?
They have it already. So next question. Come on.
Next question. And what if they could open a restaurant, or were they a restaurant person?
Yes.
If they could open any site anywhere in the world, which city would they open in?
Oh, that's good. That's really good. They'll like that.
Let me hear them. Tell me what that's good. I really want to
coming out next Friday.
Okay, I'm going to find out the answers.
Yeah.
All right, love you, mate. Thank you for
amazing. All right, Chris. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.